So, hello everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I am sitting here with Donovan, the recovering Democrat. He was missing in action. He was playing hooky. We had to put an APB out on him, and here he is. But no, seriously, Donovan was going to go in some dental stuff. He trying to get some good old chompers. So when he smile at the ladies, you'll hear ding. So he's back now. I believe he could talk, but if not, I don't have a problem doing it. So, of course, the Demetra K Show, we promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we are a great people, but we can always strive to do better. Of course, at the top of the hour, we are not live. This is the podcast. So sometimes we are in the comment sections and when it's, premiering and what have you. So never fear. We still acknowledge you nevertheless. And this is also going to be on the podcast. So check it out there as well. And so today we're going to talk about something that has been trending on Twitter, and that is the Balenciaga situation. I'll get into about that in just a few. Also, we're going to talk about something that I saw on TikTok. Is about a very, very young, I don't know how young she is. She's probably in her 20s, young mother that was doing something very questionable with her child. Of course, we will not show that video, but I'll show a picture and we'll discuss that. And then we're also going to play our date night games where we have these random questions that Donovan and I will discuss. And so, Donovan, how are you doing?
I am doing better. You guys are kind of noticed one side of my mouth is still kind of sore as I'm a grafting was done on my jawbone and stuff. Very, very intensive stuff here. I want to be 75 and eat steak. Okay. That's what I want to do. There's nothing wrong with, eating tomatoes and stuff, but I want to have all my teeth and yeah, exactly. I don't want to do all that. And of course, you ladies have a requirement that a man has a nice grill. So a nice smile goes a long way because it is your intro card. But hey, I'm glad to be back. You guys, do us a favor, hit that like, share, and subscribe button, and really do us a favor by putting it on your platform. And that way your family members and friends can also see it and maybe pick up and kind of, join the conversation with us. Also, if you so do, we have a Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, and you can also hear this on iHeartRadio speaker, wherever your podcasting pleasures are. This is going to be an interesting subject. I don't really know much about it. I saw initial video, and I'm going to give my commentary as we go.
Absolutely. So I was actually trying to fix this thing here. So give me 1 second. Sorry about that, y'all.
Yeah, well, it's like that sometimes. Sometimes
but it like that.
Yeah, sometimes it'd be like that. But a lot of stuff has been going on in the stratosphere. As we know, the Democrats have barely control of the House, and they say Hakeem Jeffries, and everybody's all excited. Ooh, Hakeem Jeffries is in charge and all this other stuff. Isn't it funny how they have no problem giving up leadership when they can't do anything?
Right.
Here you go.
Absolutely. So anyway, all right, let's get this popping. So at the top of the hour, we're going to talk about that of Balenciaga. And actually, I'm going to give credit to Fox News. We got to give credit where credit is due. Tucker Carlson actually is leading the charge on this. It sounds like Balenciaga, who is under the Kering house of fashion, if you will. They also own Gucci, Alexander McQueen, Yves Saint Laurent, and a couple of other fashion houses, if you will. It's Francois Henry Pinault. He is the CEO, also married to that of Selma Hayek. They decided to put out a campaign, a children's campaign. So I'm going to show y'all a little bit of the clip from that of Tucker Carlson, and then we'll get into that conversation. So check it out.
Clothing brand Balenciaga. This was just uploaded on Instagram. As you can see, the photo shoot they're using to sell their products features a young girl holding a teddy bear in a bondage outfit. Then, in case you missed the point, the photo shoot also contains this image. It shows several documents. Most of them aren't visible, but what you can see when you zoom in, and of course the point is that you see it, is a reference to a U.S. Supreme Court case called Ashcroft versus Free Speech Coalition. That case struck down a law against kiddie porn. What is this? Well, it is what it appears to be. It's an endorsement of kiddie porn, of child pornography. What else could it be? We wanted to know. So we reached out today to Balenciaga to get their explanation, and they didn't respond. So we're going to have to take that on face value and ask, Where's the moral outrage? We have an entire industry in this country comprised of moral outrage merchants. If you've ever been on...
So let me remove that. So again, that was Tucker Carlson from Fox News, and he was reporting on that of Balenciaga, who seems to be endorsing that as he says, kiddie porn. And as you saw there, obviously the children's faces were blurred out, even though it doesn't sound like it was on their campaign, which was on Instagram. The children are holding teddy bears, and if you look at the teddy bears, they do seem to be in bondage, like S&M type of thing. So the teddy bears seem to be that way. But then, as he said on the desk, there was a case, Ashcroft versus free speech, that talks about that of kiddie porn or whatever. And so he was basically like, what's going on? And now everybody else is like, what's going on, right? And so he says basically outrage merchants, which I should have probably looked up that term up to see what it means. But I guess I can kind of speculate what that means. But you guys probably know Balenciaga because we know everybody and their mama except for me and Donovan. Would not give those people any of that type of money for that stuff. But most notably, Kanye was a designer for them, whether shoes, clothes, whatever it was. And of course, y'all know recently they cut connections or ties rather with him due to accusing him of being anti-Semitic. And, of course, a whole lot of other people cut ties with him. And so everybody was outraged. Oh, my God, Kanye is anti-Semitic and he needs to lose all of his endorsements and money and all of that. And so it seems like it did because it cost him about $2 billion, as he said, in one day. And so everybody was on Kanye's bumper and it's like, okay, now what about Balenciaga, who does appear, and I don't know for sure to say it appears allegedly, that they are endorsing kiddie porn. Where is the outrage? And the other question is, why are we so more outraged about something Kanye said opposed to something that is being done? Children are very innocent, and I'm imagining those kids' moms are like, yeah, whatever, or mom and dad, our kids are doing this, big time Balenciaga campaign. Now, Balenciaga, in case you guys don't know, is very high-end stuff, right? It's very, very expensive, this stuff. And so I don't know, I imagine their parents are excited, but then it's like, did you know what kind of campaign your children would be doing? It's like advocating for that of child pornography. So it's like, well, what's really going on here? But why are we not outraged to the point that, and I say we, I'm talking about a society, why are we not as outraged about that as people were about Kanye? And if Kanye was worthy of being canceled, when are they going to take to the streets and burn Balenciaga stuff? Is that ever going to happen? Donovan, what say you?
That's a very, very good point. And the funny thing is we live in a society, in my opinion, of hypocrisy. It's only a problem when we want to counsel a certain individual or a certain person. But let's look at it for what it really is, Demetra. Let's just be real, okay? Here's the deal. We live in a country that has a $16 billion annual year pornography industry. It's estimated that the sex workers in the United States bring in $27 billion. And when I say sex workers, I'm talking about OnlyFans as well. Include that in there, okay? Gentlemen's clubs, strippers and stuff. I'm talking about $27 billion. Now, let's just say, out of these sex workers, a majority of them are women. The last I checked, women have children, and they're raising the children. So I'm just using critical thinking, which is going to be a name of my new podcast when you guys get a chance to check that out. It's going to be called Critical Thinking. So if the mothers are out there and they don't have a problem working in the sex industry, which a lot of women don't, and I'm not shaming women that do that. There's nothing wrong with working in the sex industry, because if you go overseas, that's a normal thing out there, whatever. Only in the United States is it very hypocritical. So if you got a mom that works in the sex industry, why would a mother have a problem with her child in bondage clothes or modeling bondage stuff? And like you said, it's about getting the bag. Isn't that what Megan Thee Stallion and Glorilla and all these people talking about? Fuck all this, fuck all that, blah, blah, blah. Get the bag, whatever, at any cost, correct? We live in a hypocritical society. So me personally, do I have a problem with it? Absolutely, I have a problem with it. But unfortunately, we live in a society now where women they actually believe that no matter what they do, you cannot criticize.
Well, this is why I'm gonna have to push on back on you, brother, because I don't think Balenciaga, what they're doing, has anything to do with women per se, or especially Black women. This is a multi-billion-dollar company, and they have made that decision. You know, to whoever's in their marketing team or whatever. And there may be some Black women, I don't know, but I don't think that is the fault of Black women. And if y'all notice, that was white people, those were white children in those ads who were modeling bondage teddy bears. You know, in case you guys are a little vanilla, as they say, bondage is what people do sometimes when they're performing, you know, sex acts or whatever. But yeah, that doesn't have anything to do with Black women at all.
Did I say Black women at all in my
I'm
thing?
saying because you said Megan Thee Stallion and Glorilla and
well,
all of that.
well, yeah. When I said that, I was saying the culture of the music. This is what's ingrained. So I didn't say anything about Black women at all.
Well, they Black women.
No, we understand that. I'm saying the culture in itself, the sex culture, and what they're projecting.
Got it. So, I mean, I would say too, does the sex culture have something to do with that? I don't know. But I would venture to say that those people, y'all know what I'm talking about, the mayonnaise people, that's just kind of what some of them do, especially those up in the higher up, you know, thing. You think about somebody like Jeffrey Epstein, you know, he trafficked in that type of stuff. And there was a lot of very wealthy, well-to-do, noble, you know, dignitaries that was taking that trip over to Lolita Island. So I say all that to say that is sort of like the appetite of those type of people, you know. That's just what they have an appetite for young children, right? So I guess I get what you're saying as far as it being the culture. But I think the culture that you're speaking of, by far, doesn't even compare in the culture that those people, the very wealthy, because let's be honest, there's been a lot of, for a long time. I mean, hell, even here with the Catholic Church, I know that's your church, so don't be mad at me. The Catholic Church, you know, I saw some the other day unfold about some priests got caught up with messing with some kids. So that's what they do. They are perverted individuals. And to them, that's normal. Oh, let's get a bondage teddy bear on this child that doesn't even seem like it's 4 or 5. Let's get a bondage teddy bear and have them model. And then also, you know, incognito on this desk, we're going to have this child pornography case, whether it should or should not be a thing. And it's like, because we hear it also too about Disney. Remember Disney? Where you, even back in the day, cartoons, like even as far back as Mickey Mouse, they said that he had his little pee-pee or whatever was sticking out somewhere in the black and white cartoons. And so there's been a lot of discovery about the cartoons and the innuendos and things like that in those cartoons that was, you know, dealing in that of child pornography. So those people are sick with that kind of money and influence. And so I just think they got caught. Maybe they, and I think too, that's part of it. Like it's a thrill, right? We're going to put this here and see just, oh, how dangerous, how close we can get to not getting caught type of thing. But somehow, I don't know if it was Tucker or whoever was around them. They was like, wait a minute now. What is that on the desk? Some child pornography? And then they put 2 and 2 together. So they got caught. But also I was going to say before I give it to you, outrage merchant is somebody that people who delve in being outraged, like that's what they live for, type of thing. They deal it. It's like, oh, what can we be mad about today? So I guess that's what it is. So what say you?
Yeah, I agree totally. Where I was going with my my theory is this: you got $16 billion, you got $27 billion, you've got this major marketing firm company that's putting out, you know, it's very whatever marketing firm. Okay. You have the music industry, which makes over $100 billion a year and just putting out just garbage in regards to trash culture. So what I'm saying is this stuff sells. This is the hypocrisy in America. As long as it sells, we don't mind. Yes, yes, yes. Your favorite Black president, Bill Clinton, he was on Epstein Island. And it's really so sad, Demetria, that people just refuse to believe the facts that are there. These well-to-do people that you guys follow and all this other stuff, they were on Epstein Island. And like I said, I still do not believe this man killed himself when, the cameras broke. I mean, we can go into all the conspiracy thing like this. This man had the numbers. He had the people that were all there. Prince Philip was there. Everybody well-to-do. So I'm going to agree with you in regards to this culture. And that's what I'm saying. This is why I'm saying it's a culture. Because how many of you people out there have lady friends, black, white, Asian, whatever, that has an OnlyFans account? Everybody pretty much knows that. It's a culture. So you got OnlyFans, oh, I'm a self-made entrepreneur. Okay, go ahead and market yourself there. You got a billion.
Hold up. Lunel got an OnlyFans now.
Right, exactly. Well, big girls, there's some guys that really like the big girls too. So I'm not going to.
It ain't even about the big girl. It's about the old girl. Like, you up there like.
Well, so when I say it's a culture, right? So you got the music industry, you got the sex workers, you got OnlyFans, you got the porn industry itself, you got gentlemen's clubs, you got strip clubs, you got the sex workers, the girls that are just working every day, right? I'm going to show you how hypocritical is the United States. Why is it that prostitution is legal in certain parts of Nevada, but it's illegal across all of the United States? And we know that everybody has a stroll somewhere. In major cities, there's always a hoe stroll somewhere. But that's the hypocrisy that we deal with. And we got to realize there is a market for these young people to be exploited. And this is what this company is doing, in my opinion. Am I outraged? Absolutely. But like you said, and I agree with Carlson Tucker and and what you're saying. Where's the outrage for us calling this stuff out? But yet we have people that are so ignorant that will wear this stuff, whatever, because when you wear stuff like that, to me, okay, like, I was an R. Kelly fan, just like a lot of people were R. Kelly fans. That was in the 90s, grew up in our era, right? You won't see me rocking around after what has gone down with R. Kelly recently with an R. Kelly shirt on. You won't see me highlighting that, because to me, that's a admission of you accept it. You're like, you're down with it. So the selective outrage is it's just, it's so sad. It's sad. It's sad.
Yeah, and like you said, it's very selective outrage. I mean, and then you bring up R. Kelly, and y'all know I'm not an R. Kelly apologist at all. I think he's done some things that, kind of land him where he is. I don't know about to the degree that he's there. Sounds like too that in Chicago, some stuff may be getting overturned. I don't know how true that is, but I don't know. I guess or New York.
Yeah, with all the charges they hit him with, it's not enough to free him.
Right, but so I don't apologize for R. Kelly. I think he did some things that got him where he's at, but he still makes great music. But the other thing too is R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, and a whole lot of the our folks, they got caught up, saw the inside of a jail. And I know Harvey Weinstein, is he still in jail? He's still in jail, but it took
matter of fact, the court case is going right now.
Yeah, it took them a long time to get him there. In fact, there's this movie that tanked bad called She Said, I think it is. And it was a movie about Harvey Weinstein. They said that movie was in like almost 2,100 theaters or 2,300 theaters across the U.S. and it only made like $2 million. It's like, yeah, you know what I mean? But the point that I'm making too is, and I'm piggybacking off of what you said, Donovan, that, people are selectively outraged about certain things, but yet you have these white folks that, and we know why, but you got these white folks that is doing the stuff and then some. Catholic Church is a perfect example. How long did it take them to catch them up? They even had in there with their own organization. Well, we're going to move them from one, church to another. And they just keep moving them around until finally the lid fell off of it. And it's like, well, now we got to admit that we've all, the archdiocese, everybody has been complicit in what's going on with these child abuse cases. And so there's not a lot of outrage, but can you imagine if that would have been, let's say, God forbid, I'm not saying this, but Kanye, this was his campaign. Oh man, they'd be running them out of there like Frankenstein,
Yeah, and the funny thing about the Catholic Church, me being a Catholic, it never made sense to me when I would run across a priest that was gay. It's like, I don't think you need to be in, because I was an altar boy, so I'm just saying, it's just kind of, I always questioned that, like, well, wouldn't you have tendencies to do this? And yet this thing breaks out. And a lot of us Catholics, people don't want to admit it. You guys know they moved these guys when there was a problem. It's a quiet, kept secret. Everybody knows it.
Yeah, and that, and then I think they set those. But see, this is why I was going to say, I think they set the priests up to fail. But I'm like, no, they didn't, because I think what they were doing to the children goes as far back as the archdiocese, the Catholic Church you can think of. It goes back there. So it's like, of course, these fully grown men with this testosterone of course, they sit up there, oh, no, I don't need a wife. I don't need any, because of course you don't, because you're messing with the kids. And that's something that is not openly ordained, but clearly it's ordained somewhere within the church, because you think about it. What man, honestly, and I know there's some priests out there that don't do that, so I don't want to label all of them, but what man, a fully virile man, if that's how you say it, would sign up for celibacy, a life of it, but yet you're around these nuns who, they ain't supposed to have none, but I think they be getting some. You're around these nuns, and then you're around these kids, and it's like, the Bible tells you not to fall onto to temptation, but then you got all these temptations around you. And so I don't think they set them up to fail. I think there's like, this is just a cover. Y'all know we messing with the kids, so we just gonna pretend like we're, whatever it is,
it's like in any church, you give deference to the pastor or who's in the church. No matter what they do, they're the authority. What's that bishop that was messing with young boys in Georgia allegedly?
Eddie Long.
Eddie Long. There's a prime example right there. You've got people to this very day that will fight and say no, that those allegations were not true, but yet you have the other side saying that yes, this was true.
Which is why too, there's that movie, y'all maybe watch it over this week. Honk If You Love Jesus is an excellent movie. Like I said, some people didn't like it, especially people up in the church, because they was like, oh, how dare you? But it was really an indictment on the church and on the Black church in regards to the stuff that we allowed to go on in those churches. Now, the movie was a parody, but it was so ridiculous in the things that they were doing. But it's like, it wasn't really ridiculous, because those things actually go on in the church, but they overblew it to show how, just make it really ridiculous, to show how the church sits there and watches the pastor, and then the pastor's wife, she goes along with any and everything he does. I mean, there was this one scene in there, I'm not going to really give it away, but I won't tell you, what it's about. But there's this one scene where he's got a couple of the members that come back to the church, and they're praying and stuff, and he gets all excited, right? As Sterling K. Brown is a character. He gets all excited, and he takes all of his clothes off except for his underwear, right? Kids is in the church, everybody gets all excited, takes his all his clothes off except for his underwear, and he dives into the baptismal pool. And then his wife runs right behind him, and then she gets in there, and he's acting a fool and baptizing them all over again in the pool. And the mom that was in the church with her daughter, the daughter's like 9, 10, she covers her face, and then she uncovers her face. But I'm saying it was so ridiculous. But with that, to me, that scene was saying, but y'all know this man ain't right. He could eat, he takes all of his clothes off, and y'all still stand there and.
Did you see the memes? Like, it was a couple of years ago, like in Africa, where they had like pastors in Africa. I don't know what country or whatever. It was a meme where the pastor had all these women at the beach or something. They were on the coast or something. And he had them all take off their, I'm not sure exactly what it was, but it was, to me, it was very inappropriate. And he was going to baptize them by sticking his wing wang or whatever, or something.
Something like that. Yes, it was something like that. Yeah. So we've seen a whole lot of examples. And so it's like, to hear that Christians especially got mad with the movie Honk If You Love Jesus is like, why? Why are you mad with that movie? It was telling the truth. But that also proved the point. Y'all don't want to face the truth of what y'all allow to go on in the church with the pastor. But to your point, people won't chastise the pastor because they think, oh, that's wrong to do it. Oh, I'm going to hell. Oh, let me not do it. But the Bible says in 2 Timothy 2:15, I think it is, study to show thyself approved, rightfully dividing the word of truth. Basically, you hear what this man is saying, but crack this book open and make sure this man is telling you, or whoever stand up in the pulpit, make sure they're telling you the truth. And so back to the selective outrage before we move on to the next thing, these outrage merchants, if you would have selective outrage, we take because I could totally see Balenciaga saying, well, we didn't know. And just like when Gucci, who was under the same house, they had the blackface sweaters on, oh, we didn't know. And Negroes was mad for 2.2 minutes. And then now you see, it's so bad with us as Black people. I even see niggeresses running around with Balenciaga bonnets, Gucci bonnets. And I was like, I don't know, think that is even on the website nowhere, but whatever, you know. But we rock these clothing. Is like, even though they've shown us who they are, like we shouldn't even have been buying no Balenciaga, Gucci, any of that stuff, especially when they came out with the sweaters. But yet they mad at Kanye, dropped Kanye, you know, and then a lot of us jumped on the bandwagon with it, and then here they are with some child pornography stuff. It's like, this is clearly bizarre world. Clearly it is.
Clearly bizarre world. And before we move on, I just wanted to add to that real quick. There's a meme going around where it said, have you seen these guys? They're like at NBA games and they're flashing all their money and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're doing all this other stuff. You guys show me a real billionaire that flashes their money.
Yeah.
Show me where you know, Daryl, Jeff Bezos, he's in a picture and he's just showing all his billions. They don't do it.
And then unfortunately they get, you know, hit up or stuck
IRS,
up.
right? Or they get robbed, right? The IRS will get robbed, whatever. But again, people that have real money, they don't flash it. It's so funny because, and I'm glad you're bringing this topic up, because we got to realize it's like how we deal with the Democratic Party and whatever. They showed us who we are, but yet we still clamor for them, right? Like you said, we buy all this name brand stuff, and yet we're still living in the hood. It's like, okay, you look good, but you're poor.
And then Christmas is coming up. And as I said, I'm going to really start talking about this all the way up until Christmas. Christmas is coming up, and we're going to give Gucci, Balenciaga, and all the other Agas, we're going to give them all of our money. And then we're going to negate the fact that Black people are getting put out on the street in record numbers. We are suffering in record numbers more than anybody else. But your kids is going to school with a Gucci belt. They going to school with a Gucci bonnet or whatever. They going to school all, fresh to death. But yet we're not going to address the real ills in our community. You know what I mean? And so I just think at this point, Balenciaga, Gucci, and all them have shown us who they are. Why don't we believe them?
Right, exactly. And again, with this Christmas madness, holiday madness coming up, there's going to be a lot of women out there. Ladies, your lights need to stay on. You got to pay your rent and all this other stuff. The taxes might be a little slow. They're still trying to catch up from last year.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah. You guys better really think about, does your kid really need an $800 PlayStation bringing home D's and F's?
Man, and y'all check out my video that I put up. It was actually an excerpt from Sunday's show where I talked about, we need kitchen tables back. We need the kitchen table back. And, kitchen tables obviously symbolic. If you don't have a kitchen table, get one. But the kitchen table is where we bring the family back together and we discuss things so that we can be better people, right?
Shoot, if you got a kitchen table, you can go to Walmart and get a little fold-out table for $30. That's still something.
Yep, sit there and you talk to each other, right? So anyway, let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. So of course, I've seen this one trending. This was on Twitter as well. Of course, I will not show y'all the video, but I will show y'all a photo of this, and I'm going to be nice, young lady who, and I put her picture up. I hope it's the picture. Okay, yeah. So what you see here is a mother, and you do not see her son, and that is done on purpose by me, but you can see his little hands, and she is twerking. Now, it's not the lady that's in this picture on the side. There's somebody reposted the video, so it's not her. Just want y'all to know that. But as you can see, her son, he couldn't have been no more than maybe 7, I would say, maybe 7. And she had a series of videos on her TikTok. She's twerking on him, bending over and doing the most, as y'all can see here. So when I saw this trending, I went onto her page and I was like, where is his father? Where is his grandparents? Somebody that can save him from you, because this is clearly abuse. It's the SA type of abuse, sexual assault. I won't say it too many times so the algorithm won't catch me up. But it's SA at the very, at least it's SA, right? This child is not deciding to do that on his own. This mother is deciding to do that for him. And so I want to take it to the obvious. If that was a man doing that with a little girl, he would be drawn and quartered somewhere in the middle of the town square, right? And there'd be no more. But this is a woman doing this to her son. Now, don't get me wrong, people are outraged, People were outraged to the point of I reported her page, and I'm sure a lot of other people did. It got taken down. She has since started another page. Until last time I looked, she didn't put anything like that up, but we reported her page and got her taken down. And I even want to take it a step further and say that CPS needs to knock on her door, because what she is doing to him is not just a TikTok moment. It's not just so we having fun, even though he is laughing, but how long has she been doing that? Why does he think? And I don't think he thinks it's okay. It's probably like, this is mom. Maybe he doesn't realize how inappropriate it is. I don't know. I'm not even saying this is on the little boy. He has nothing to do with it. It's her. So I think that CPS needs to visit her and charge her with SA, because that's what it is. She's shaping the minds of this young boy. And then we wonder how R. Kelly's get created, because R. Kelly had the same story. He said that when he was a young boy, he was messed with by, I don't know, his mama friend or somebody, some older woman, and he cites that as to why he turned out the way he did. Now, I'm not saying that's an excuse. I'm just telling you what he said. And if you know a little bit about it, yeah, especially a child that age, things get turned on in their body that ordinarily wouldn't get turned on until they hit puberty or something, right? And so now they are aware in that way, because of what is being done to them, whether it's her twerking or somebody actually doing something to them. And then they become promiscuous, and they also end up doing other things, right? So the other thing is, God forbid he goes to school and he replicates that type of stuff, and then somebody else's child go tell their mama, and then they don't see it being funny, but yet this little boy is holding the bag that his mom gave him. And so we have a lot to talk about with this segment. Donovan, what say you?
So all I can say is when I was coming up, okay, yeah, your moms, your aunts, they hugged you and stuff like that, but we always kept our distance from our parents. And to even touch my mom like that, that was like, I had to be like 3 or 4. You know what I mean? Like, we had to hold your mom's hand, and you might grab her pants or something, because she told you, don't you move your hand down, you just keep your hand over here. But when my mom was dancing and stuff like that, of course it was different dances back then, but, we still kept our distance. There was a respectful distance that the parent kept from the child, especially of the opposite sex. Even to this very day, I have nieces and young nieces and stuff like that. I still keep my distance, to respect the child, whatever. Like you said, that is SA, absolutely. But didn't we see videos like this, let's say 5 years ago, 6 years ago, girls were doing this? And they thought there was nothing wrong with it. See, when can we criticize our women and say this is wrong, this is inappropriate? They think, like you said, they think that they're having fun. And God bless her. I don't know the whole thing. I don't know how old this girl is. Maybe she's a child her damn self. For all we know, she could be a very, very young.
It seems like she's at least
in her 20s, early 20s. Yeah, right. And so she should know a little bit better. But in a lot of situations, these girls are very, very young, and they're still children, and their minds are still childlike, whatever. But there's certain things that you should know better. I don't want my niece, there's a great song on, and I'm going to twerk on her. I'm not going to do that. I'm just not going to, because it's not appropriate. But see, this is what happens when we as men and as older people forfeit our right to criticize. Don't say nothing, baby. They just young. They didn't have it. This is what happens. This is what happens because we were silent. And when you're silent, what do they say, Demetria? When you're silent, you are basically saying it's all right. So sad.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Silence is agreement, especially something like that. I don't know where her parents are, or his dad is, or the other grandparents. I don't know, a friend, the auntie, uncle, somebody. But I'm gonna tell you now, it would never be my daughter. So I'm not saying that it would be, but God forbid that it was. Oh, I'm kicking the dough in, and guess what? I'm waving the fofo too. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, this is not all right. We gonna rearrange your understanding, ma'am, of what you were doing. You know what I mean? And this is not right. And so obviously she hasn't been taught, or I don't know. I don't even know how you would get to that point of thinking that's appropriate to do that to your young son, and then you post it on the internet, and then you defend it, and then you mad because people took your page down, basically saying y'all ain't got nothing better to do, mind your business. If you don't like it, it's like, no, we don't like it. There's still some people in society that don't like it and will put a foot to your backside, verbally anyway, and let you know we don't like it. No, we ain't gonna be quiet. I told you all the time when I was at the store not too long ago, it was a young sister that kind of looked like her, in the same age frame, if you will. And I happened to be walking down the aisle, and she was turning the corner, and her mom, I'm assuming her mom was in front of her. And then I see her turn around, the young girl, and wham, she slaps the mess out of her son that couldn't have been no more than 3 or 4. And I stopped dead in my tracks. And this little boy, he was so dejected, if you will, that he went under a clothing rack and was hiding like, and I said, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. I said, I know you did not just slap him like that. I said, what the hell is wrong with you? I said, don't you ever put your hands on him like that. And her mama turned around and she didn't say nothing. And the girl didn't say nothing. And my daughter looked, because my daughter didn't see it. But I saw it. And the lady who worked at the store saw it. And she was looking at me. I told Deanna, my daughter, I said, if we got to be fighting in this store, we're going to be fighting in this store. That's how I was when I was so mad. But what really made me mad is how I was like, that ain't the first time she did that to him, because he just cowered under the clothing rack when she did that to him. And she was just, but I wanted her. I ain't never caught no case nowhere, but that day was going to be the day. I wanted her to say something to me so I could ball her ass up in a pretzel. That's how mad I was about it. But I let her know, and her mama looked. I'm like, the hell wrong with y'all? That's not, you don't put your hands on him like that. So, I don't know. She just used to doing that in the store or whatever. But I'm hoping that I send her a message. I will not be quiet. I will not watch you do that to him, because clearly your dumb ass mama and his dumb ass mama ain't got the sense God gave her cricket. And so somebody got to speak up for this little boy. And that's how we got to be. We got to be more certain than the degenerates in our society. Now, I'm not a violent person, but that day I had it all mapped out. Okay, I was going to hand my daughter my purse, and we were just going to be going there.
Yeah, and I think it's an important topic to talk about. Silence is not golden when it has to do with our youth. And here's the problem with that. Recently, I guess they call them the Cabo Six. That's the nickname they gave those friends of the girl that got murdered out there in Cabo. If you guys haven't seen the story, I think, Dimitri, you covered, and a lot of other new Black media covered that story. But my point is with this, what we seem to do, if you guys notice, if you've seen the video of the Cabo Six, notice that her friend, supposedly her best friend, was videotaping it. And I guess he had said, ain't you going to fight back? Now, I'm just thinking as a man, a real man, my projection of it, a real man, we don't want to see women fighting. We don't want to do that. That's something that we just don't want to see. We don't like to see women fighting because that's too masculine. We want our women to be feminine. Okay. I'm going to project, when I saw the video and the guy was videotaping, the first thing that shot to my mind, Demetra, was this man was probably raised by a single woman household. And I'm not saying,
I should say too that it sounds like a lot, if not all of those men are LGBTQ as well.
Right.
So
exactly.
LGBTQ.
Right. So, and I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with it. I was raised by a widowed mother, but I had a widowed mother that had a blueprint of what a man should be and how I should be and what my father would want for us to do. So so my point is, this is one of the problems that we have when you got a lot of women that are strong and independent, and they overdo it with the masculinity toward their men or their sons, and they kind of tap them down. And thus, when they grow up and let's say they're teenagers, they're in high school, whatever, and they see girls fighting, they don't do anything because, they're raised because what does their mom tell them? Women can do anything a man can do. We're equal. We're doing this. We've raised almost 3 generations of young men in single mother homes. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. That is not what I'm saying. Listen to the message. Why do you think these dudes are not engaging? Because they actually believe men and women are equal. And so if you're going to be equal, you're going to fight your own fight. You're going to do all these things, you know, and it's really messed up because nobody's stepping in, be it an aunt, an uncle, grandfather, a boyfriend, a positive boyfriend, and trying to tell these young men when to be men and when to step in. If I saw Demetra fighting, I'd probably let her fight. But but I really don't want to see that. I don't want to see a boob popping out, you know, and all this other stuff that would happen. You know, I don't want to see that kind of stuff. So, you know, that's what we're lacking when we're silent about how we should feel when it comes to the next generation and the youth. We should speak up and put our mind out there and put something in these young mothers' heads of another option that they should do. Should women be hard on young men? Yes, absolutely, when it's appropriate. But there's a certain time to like bring the hammer down versus talking to the child, or at least explaining to the child the difference of what it is they need to do. Because a lot of us, we were raised in do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that is definitely true. But I think we need to get to a point in society to where we stop letting the degenerates be more certain than we are. Now, listen, optimally, I would not want to fight, but I would have fought for that little boy. If it meant me, you know, getting them up, you know, I know a little self-defense tactic. So I'm nice. I can handle myself, you know.
Gung fu is not self-defense, but go ahead.
Okay, Careza. Now, I would have fought for that little boy. And I'm not saying that I was looking for a fight, but had that been the outcome, then so be it. Because I wanted to send her a message. Now, I'm not saying that I was going to go accost her, but I'm saying, God forbid, she was like, oh, yeah, shut your mouth, whatever. I would, then that would have ended up that way. But I think we need to just start saying, you know what? I don't want to die. I don't want to fight. However, and of course, my situation was kind of far out there. But when we see stuff like this on the internet, and I say this, I'm a big proponent of this, and I've always said this, as long as I've had a social media, don't repost, report. Do not repost these things, because when you repost children being exploited and abused, you are no better. You are actually helping, because just know that that child does not have a say-so as to what is going on with him or her. Then when they get older and this image is still out there, and I hate this with a passion. I hate when people, well, I'm just showing it so people can see what's going on. I didn't show y'all the video. I could tell you what's going on, but it's like, no, you're not. You're not showing it so people can see what's going on. You're showing it for clicks and likes and, oh, look at, I got this sensational video. You are just as guilty. You are just as guilty if you repost a child being abused in any way, shape, or form. We don't need to be educated on that. We know what that is. And if you're truly interested in educating, find a way to use your words, but do not repost that. I hate to see people repost little girls dancing sexually or suggestive. And, you know, I hate to see that. There is no value in you reposting that. Report it. It needs to come down. And in a lot of cases, reposting something like that and worse can get you a case, because that is against the the laws. The FBI will come and knock on your door for doing what? Sharing child pornography. So think about that, and also think about your kids or your nieces and your nephews and people like that. If somebody was foolish enough to do that with them, would you want them reposting that? So, oh, look at this. Look at that. I'm trying to show all my friends. You're showing them what? You're showing them perverseness, how perverted people are, and then in turn, how perverted you are, because you reposting it for what? If you getting money? And even if you was getting money, is it worth it? Don't repost. That is I'm passionate when it comes to children who do not have a voice or a choice. Do not do that to those children. Do not repost that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 110% with that one. But unfortunately, in our community, 70% of us live at below or just above the poverty line in the United States. And we have a lot of assistance going on, and they live in an environment where they've been overly sexualized, and they think that that kind of stuff is normal in their world. And I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying this is where we're at. They can be in Pizarro world I know people are watching all these Marvel movies and stuff. I'm a comic book junkie, and they have these things called parallel earths and stuff. But on this earth, right here where we're at today, you're right. That stuff should not be acceptable, and it should not be normalized. But again, it goes back to what we said in an earlier clip, this culture that we've created now to where, the over-sexualization of our women and our girls and our boys, and, it's just gotten out of hand, all because nobody wanted to take a stand and maintain a standard. And I always ask people like this because, I got friends that be like, oh, Donovan, well, that's what you would do. That's whatever. I say, okay, where's the standard? For society to live, you got to have a certain standard to judge it by. So what's the standard? If we don't have any standards, then let it all hang out. Then and that's what's going to happen. But like you said, selective standards. We have selective outrage. Where's the standard? Either women are to be respected, or they're to be 304'd. Which is it? Which is it? And I just wish people would really rationalize, what earth are you on? And if you want a standard for your children, because notice when Cardi B is out there, I saw that little TikTok video she was doing, listen to her music or whatever she was doing and dancing. But the minute her daughter walked into that room, she turned that music off. You want to know why, people? She has a standard for her daughter.
Madonna too. She at one point in time, she was one of the filthiest women on the planet. And she said, I will not let my children watch TV or listen to music or any of that stuff. She guarded the minds of her children while she was out there corrupting the minds of yours, because unlike her, a lot of these parents out there are silly as hell and allow their children to listen to and to watch any and everything. And like you said, there are no standards. We live in a society where everything goes. And if you try to check something or something, I'll mind your business, and you this, that, and the other. But I'm going to tell you right now, I already put it out there. I will fight for children. I will catch a case behind the child. That's just how really passionate I am. And also people who repost that type of stuff, I tell them straight up, hey, you're just as guilty as the person who originated this. You should take it down. If they don't, I report them. And I ain't even ashamed to tell them, I'll report your ass. Take this down.
Yeah. I remember I got banned from Facebook for like 3 months. That time she did it.
I will. I'm unapologetic about it. I don't have any allegiance to anybody who is out there to be harmful to other people, and especially children. So I hope that helps. And people call me a snitch or whatever. I'll be that. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, we're going to play this at the end of this. We are going to play this game that Donovan and I have been playing. It's called Tonight's Conversation. It's the date night edition, to where it's a series of questions in this card game. It actually belongs to my daughter. And she actually suggested a while back that Donovan and I play it, just to kind of give an insight of what we think about, dating or whatever questions may come up in this. And so also, you guys, that we're getting ready to get out of here. We have ways to donate to help the channel if you would. Of course, catch this on our podcast. Everything, the information is on the bottom of the screen. Mm-hmm. All right. So Donovan, you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm going to shuffle the cards.
Okay.
What are you most afraid of, and why?
You mean in life or in like relationships?
In general, it can be
in general.
It can be anything.
What I'm afraid of is not leaving a legacy. Being on this earth for how many years that I've been on this earth, and my demise finally comes, and I have nothing to show for it. That's why I look at a lot of young men. It's like they can spend 12 years of their life imprisoned. It's like, what a waste. That's 12 years of your good years. So my thing is not leaving a purposeful legacy for the ones that come after me.
That's really good. Mine is a regret. One of my biggest fears is regret. And I talk about the scenario all the time. I envision myself being an old woman. When I say old, I'm leaving up out of here when I'm like 120, 125, I'm gonna still be sexy, don't get it wrong. But I envision myself being this older lady, and I'm in this rocking chair. And I'm on the porch and I'm just reflecting on life. And I'm wondering, what am I thinking? Am I thinking I shoulda, woulda, coulda, but I didn't? Or am I thinking, yeah, you, man, you did that. You didn't leave no stone on. Like, what am I thinking, right? Because there's a lot of people who go to the grave or their dying moment with regret, like, I didn't, or I should have, and I would have, but I didn't, and this, that, and the other. And one of my favorite passages, if you will, is from that of Steve Jobs. Of course, you guys know he is the creator of Apple. But he was diagnosed with cancer twice. And I think it was his first or second time. He says, and he was given a commencement speech. He had beat it the first time. So this was a commencement speech. And he says, every day, go to the mirror when you wake up and you ask yourself, you say, if today was my last day on earth, what would I spend it doing? And then whatever you answer, go do that. Go do that today and every day you ask yourself. Because I actually was having this conversation with somebody very early in the morning. They needed a pep talk. And I said, ask yourself every day, if today was my last day on earth, what would I spend it doing? I said, would you spend it arguing with fools, entertaining clowns? And would you give that time to people who don't deserve it? She says, no. I said, so then that's how you need to regard the things, the decisions you make in your life when it comes to nonsense. If today was my last day on earth, am I going to fight with people, or do silly stuff? So whatever that is, go do that, and regret will probably never visit you if you go do what it is that you were put here to do. So that's one of my biggest fears is, or what I'm most afraid of is regret. All right, moving right along. You ready?
Yep.
Could you date a person with children? If so, are you prepared to be a step parent if things progress?
At 52 years old, most of the women that I will most likely date will have children. Matter of fact, they'd be grandparents, most likely. So yes, I have no, it's unreal for me to think that I wouldn't do that because I have children of my own. So yeah, it's going to be reciprocal. And then I look at it this way. I would want a woman that has children of her own because that shows me that she's a veteran. She has experience, and she knows what's going on. So she can't be fronting on me like, oh, I'm gonna wait until, and I'm gonna be ready until we get married. No, baby, no. We're way past that. So yes, I would date a woman that has children and grandchildren, and preferably as a man, it'd be nice to meet a woman that doesn't have children, but that's almost never going to happen. That's just never going to happen at my age.
I have to answer this. Okay, I'm going to keep it real with y'all. Okay, I'm 51. Okay, 51 years old. And no, I'm not dating anybody with children. Grandchildren, yes, that's a different story because obviously I don't have any grandchildren. But at this age, I'd imagine, somebody that I would date would have grandchildren. That's okay. I love kids. I really, really do. I don't want to do the man with kids no more. You know why I want to do the man with kids no more? Because it comes with baby mama drama. It really does. It comes with a man not having the cojones to tell her no. Not that I'm one of those women like, why she did it? Because I'm one of those people like, oh, she needs some money here. Let's go on and send her some extra money. That's who I am, right? But I don't want to be married to or with a man who don't have a backbone enough to say, boo-boo, you done rang my phone all the time. You always got a problem. This, that, and the other, whatever. So because I'm like, if that's the case, then y'all should be together. And I'm not against that. Y'all should be together if most of your time is focused on that. Now, I get it. Y'all got children together. You should make sure your child is okay. I'm telling you, I'm one of those people. She needs some extra money. She can't pay her light bill. So she say, send her the money. I'm not gonna be the one talking about, well, why she ain't it? Even if
ain't you paying child support? Why you need some more sneakers?
Because I get it. Sometimes child support don't measure up or whatever the case is. And I'm not gonna date no man who ain't gonna pay his child support either. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I'm not one of those women either. But no, I don't want to date a man with children because for one, I've raised my child and I've raised other children. And so I'm probably not wanting to do that again. And like I said, I don't like baby mama drama or nothing like that. And I think even just like for me, I don't like baby daddy drama. I think if you don't, as a man, you don't have that under control, I don't think you should be out there dating. I think you should get all that situated with your baby mama. because obviously she needs a lot of your attention. Whatever, you should deal with that. But I don't think you should bring other people into that. But me, no, I'm not dating any man with no more kids. Just to keep it real with you, not no young kids anyway. Now, maybe if you have some older kids, that's one thing. But young kids, but grandkids, sure. I love the babies. Grandkids, yes, because I'm imagining that he might be raising the grandkids. That's a different story too. It's a case by case. But more than likely, he ain't gonna be raising the grandkids. We're gonna take the kids to Disneyland or whatever we gonna do. But I'm too old for that.
Well, let me ask you this real quick. It kind of goes in conjunction with that question. If a woman has a boyfriend, should that boyfriend help her baby daddy pay for in expenses like sneakers and stuff like that? She's coming to you for things that the father should be doing.
I mean, y'all know, you know how I feel. If you spending time with a woman and she giving you, y'all laying down, getting horizontal, yeah, you should. But then I also always tell women too, don't lay down with a man. I'm gonna speak for me. I'm not laying down with no man that ain't mine. You ain't a Negro. You ain't hopping up and down on me for free. Not saying that I'm selling it, but I'm saying it ain't gonna be, well, I'm gonna head on out, and all of that. Nah. So yeah, if you laying down with a woman, and I'm saying this to anybody, the women, if a man is getting that from you and you can't ask him to help you buy your baby a pair of shoes, you ain't nothing but a receptacle. That's it. You have more, a trash receptacle get more respect than you. And if that ain't my child, well, guess what? This ain't your cat either. So yeah, I think you should. But that's just me. But that's why I don't lay down with people that ain't beholden to me.
Right. And I kind of brought that question out because you have a lot of women, young women out there that they have a man supposedly, and yet the kids are still struggling. They don't have the things that they need, especially when the school year starts. It's always, the school supplies and whatever.
Listen, I get it. Sometimes the power of the D, that make you do some crazy things. But after a while, when your feet hit the ground, you got to come back to reality. And it's like, okay, this little bit, 2 minutes of fun that we just had or whatever it was, my children still need stuff. What did that do for me? Was it shooting out coins or something? I don't know. So we really got to be. That's why I said I would never fall in love again. I would never ever fall in love again, because when you fall in love, it's reckless. When you fall, it's not intended, right?
Right.
That's jumping out of an airplane. A fall is not intentional, so it's something that's reckless, and so we tend to do that. And so I say all that to say, be logical. And when you picking the mate, am I going to be able to get something? Not saying that you're trying to bump the person's head, like use them, but damn, if I got a need for whatever reason, my light's about to get cut off, and you're gonna creep up in here in the dark and get in my bed. No,
right. But isn't he using her to a certain degree? Sexual gratification.
It's a give and a take.
Right,
it's a give and a take. Like, I know men who want to, have the fun with the woman. Because I asked this one cat, he was telling me about some lady that he was talking to. She got 4 young kids or whatever, and the kids is always talking in the background and this, that, and the other. I'm like, well, she got kids. What you want her to just disappear? Like, what she supposed to do with them? Well, I'm just saying. I said, okay, let me ask you this. Let's say y'all get together. Are you prepared to take care of her and no kids? He said, no. I'm like, well, why are you wasting her time?
Yeah, why are you wasting time? Yeah.
A minute, you just want some Kit Kat. This because I think she would be respectful of that if you say, listen, I'm just trying to hit and quit it, opposed to you trying to, hey, I'm this good guy and I love my parents. Stop lying.
Correct.
Right. So, all right. The last question we have is, this is a doozy, Donovan.
All right. I'm ready.
I want you to be honest. Do you feel it's okay to go through your significant other's phone without permission? Why or why not?
No, absolutely not. Because when a person goes to look for something, you will find something. So that also shows that you are an insecure person within yourself. So no, I don't think it's cool. I wouldn't want nobody to go through my phone. I wouldn't have a problem with them going through it, but I'm just saying, even, a lot of people don't know this about law. Even when you're married, your wife and your spouse still has the right to privacy. A lot of people don't know that. And so, if whatever they're doing in the dark always comes out to the light later on. So, why even worry about it? I say, no, they should not do that. And if they do that, it shows that you are an insecure person.
Well, y'all know I like to be honest, so I'm not going to lie to kick it. Okay. Now, do I feel it's okay to go through somebody else's phone? No, I do not feel it's okay, because I do feel like people are entitled to their privacy. Now, have I gone through a phone? I absolutely have gone through a phone. I'm not going to lie to y'all and say, no, I never have, because I hate when people do that. Oh, I would never do that. Quit lying. Now, let me tell you something. I didn't go through the phone just because, like, I'm going to see what he up to. I went through the phone both times. I went through the phone because I'm like,
But how did you get past the finger coding?
They didn't. I'll tell y'all that. Okay, hold on. I can tell you. I'm not one of those people just like, there his phone is, let me go through it. The 2 times that I did, I was like, there just ain't no way. Something in the milk ain't clean. Something is going on here. It just something's off type of thing. Okay. So with my ex-husband, I knew something was off when this Negro would take his phone to the bathroom when he in the shower and all of that. And I'm like, okay, something ain't right. And plus, I'll tell y'all a story about him all the time. He was just riding dirty everywhere he went. So one day he got in the shower, but he forgot to take his phone in there with him. And I'm sitting on the bed and it was calling me, like Pookie on New Jack City. It just keeps calling me. It just keeps calling me. It was calling me. It was like, Demetra. So I moseyed on over there to the nightstand, picked it up, heard him in the shower. He was in the shower good too. And I opened the phone, and sure enough, it was like, everything I suspected came out the phone. And so I hurried up and ran on to the other side of the bed, and I sat there and I was like, okay, you ain't gonna say nothing. Now, hell no, you gonna say something. So I did. And of course, it was, a lot of that. But so I felt like there's some other things going on. Now, the last time that I went through a Negro's phone, I had my suspicions, and never, ever had a need to, but some in the milk wasn't clean. So he jumped in the shower. And the phone was calling me. It was like, Demetra.
Well, if your sixth sense is telling you something, always go with your sixth sense.
And I was like,
but but you found something. See, that's what I'm saying. You found something.
Oh, this Negro was talking to this woman and that woman.
Yeah.
And this woman. Oh, honey, yes. Oh, yes, baby queen and all this other stuff. And so then I did a Tasmanian devil, and then it was on and cracking. He better be happy I didn't have a toaster in my hand while he was in the shower, because it would have been on and cracking. But so, yes, I've been through a phone or two. Now, it wasn't something I made a habit of, but it was just like, something ain't right, something ain't right. And I did. And, of course, once you do that and you find out this person is not being, they're being untrustworthy, then yeah, it's kind of the help, it's the demise of the relationship, because it's like, damn, how could you? And why would you? Why would you do that? Because you take that personally. Why would you do that to me? But then when you get older and get wiser, you're like, yeah, they ain't doing that to me. They did that to themselves because they missed out on a good ass woman right here. And some people, and I get what you're saying as far as it's what they doing is what they doing in their phone, but it's like, yeah, but I think the Lord said that I'm blaming the God. I'm blaming God. I think God put the opportunity in my hand, and he was like, my child, do not fumble the ball.
Exactly. Like I said, everybody's thing is different, but like for me, I happen to know, like I said, if I have a good suspicion too. And if you got that suspicion to me, just go ahead and do what you need to do. Like, look, this relationship is over. I don't know what you're doing, but I just feel it's not going to work out, whatever, because I almost guarantee every time that I had a suspicion, I was right.
Same here. That's why I was like, I'm going through the phone, boo-boo. But I'm the type of person, you can go through my phone. I'm not trying to hide anything. On my phone, here's my combination or whatever. I don't have anything to hide.
Or you do the phone swap and they don't want to do it. That tells you all you need to know, right there.
But then they'll cling on to that. Well, it's my privacy,
yeah.
Which is true. They are entitled to. I'm not saying they're not, but if you could not for whatever reason swap phones, you don't even really have to
Exactly.
do it. But if that comes up and you can do it, it's like,
There's your answer. There's your answer right there. There's your
right.
answer.
So somebody left their phone home and they try to kill everything in their path to get home and get the phone because they know their significant other's like, oh, you gonna do what to her? Huh? You ain't never did that with me.
Yeah, the girls that I would date, if they got a lock on their phone, because I don't have a lock on my phone. I don't need it.
Well, I lock my phone because unfortunately you got everything on your phone. Y'all
yeah.
like that picture? Yeah. And you got everything on you. You got your cards and everything is on.
Well, I don't,
phone.
but yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. See, my phone is a phone. Period.
So, yeah, I mean, I pay for stuff with my phone and so, but if I have a man and I did at one time, he knew the code to my phone. It wasn't. I wasn't trying to hide nothing. Of course, now you have to, use my face to get in the phone. But, but anyway, so yeah, that's what we have, you guys. Hopefully, the show was you learned something from it. At very least, it was entertaining. But we will be back here with Wealth Wednesdays and Walters the day before Thanksgiving. We're going to be talking about a whole lot of things, very fun and all of that. But of course, we have ways to donate to the channel. Thank you to the members and everybody who contributes to the channel, whether they like, subscribe, whatever you share, you tell a friend, whatever you do, we love and appreciate you dearly. Thank you so much, Donovan, for being here on the Demetra K Show and the podcast. We will see y'all tomorrow. Be well. We love you. Peace.